Button clicked. We're gonna check Twitter. Twitter? No,
Twitter?
no.
Let's check
Twitch. We're gonna check Twitch instead.
Twitch sound better.
Hey, an ad didn't. Ah, there it is. All right, there's an ad playing. Looks like the audio volumes are okay. There's a. This ad supports Twitch playing right now, so I'm just gonna hang out in case anyone actually clicked join.
What is that game?
I don't know. Looks fun.
Right? I'd play it.
What is this?
Wide open world.
Big guns.
Big
Big
guns.
Mungo gun. Yeah. Insane. Oh wow.
Rage 2.
Rage. Oh, I never played Rage. Oh, hey, there we are.
Apparently
Okay,
it's
cool.
rules.
All right, so one of the things that I wanted to cover in like a shorter session and then restart and get into a longer session about something else, but I want to talk about training resources. A lot of folks ask about which training resources are good and things of that nature. One of the things I always point people to is Twitter, which is why it was on the mind. So pulling up Twitter. Oh, oops. Forgot I'm not logged in. Well, one of the things I wanted to show you on Twitter, actually, is this fella here, Sam Bone. Oh, that's right. You met him a couple times, huh? Okay. So Sam Bone is a professor at City College, San Francisco, and he puts together some of the most phenomenal training content, all for free, that you could possibly want. So whether you're wanting to get into InfoSec or security, or whether you simply just want to, bolster your skill set or whatever, this fella right here is freaking awesome. So I was my CactusCon talk last year. You were there, right? Is that where you met him? And he's in the front row, and I was like professing my love for him.
Yeah.
You're just gonna watch this later and be like, "Oh my god, this guy." Yeah. Well, he was hanging out, and I just kept going like, "His class, this stuff is awesome." So here's the deal: Sam has a class, or excuse me, a website called samsclass.info. It's linked right here from his Twitter. So if we open this bad boy up, we have some old school HTML, but the content is slamming. Slamming. Remember I used to say slamming?
Yeah.
And one love, fool. Let me say goodbye to someone. I had one love, dog. Slamming.
That was only on the phone, though.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was weird.
Don't talk on the phone.
Yeah. No, not really. All right. So what I'm going to do is scroll to the very, very top here. And I get a lot of folks who are like, hey, which books should I get? Or which, what do I do? And how do I get into things? So Sam at the City College puts together some phenomenal courses, and many of them are based on the current set of books that I or anyone like me would typically point someone to. Say like, oh yeah, go get that book, and then you want that book, and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, look, I got my little thing showing up on the camera there.
Yep.
This is from a bar fight. I got into this massive bar brawl. It was just chairs, bar stools flying everywhere. One slapped me in the head, and I had to knock that guy out. Yeah, that's the story. That's how that happened. Yeah, that's all that was. Anywho, so Sam has all kinds of stuff up here at the top. And one of the coolest things, one of the things that I like a lot. Well, first off, he's got like previous DEF CON materials. So if I click on this link, here's some stuff that he's done for DEF CON. So here's a talk that he gave. Which one's this? Let's open it in a new tab and take a gander. Oh, look, he's on his class. Look, he starts it out with his class website. Oh, it's like Inception. We're on the anyway. Okay, so he's talking about, what is this? 3 generations of DOS attacks. Oh, I've watched this before. Okay. So, random YouTube video he's got posted where he's going over DOS attacks. Anywho, in addition to, for example, his DEF CON stuff, there he is. That's older. What is that? DEF CON 18. Oh, look at that. My first DEF CON was 20. This guy was presenting at DEF CON 18. Actually, scroll down further. Oh, and 17. Oh, 15. And 15. Oh, look at that. Look how much younger he looks there. That's funny. All right. Well, anyway, what I really want to show folks, on the main page here, he'll have his current classes. And an example here, CNIT 50, Network Security Monitoring. Okay. So I click on the class, load it up, and you see right away some of the things it's going to focus on. Splunk. So here we see that he's a certified user, core certified user. I was a certified user for the 6 dot versions, but I'm sure that's expired by now. We're on 7.2.4, I think, currently. So anyway, in his description, he explains what's going on in the course justification for why you might want to learn it. And then he's got the textbook. In this case, as opposed to using a textbook, he's using the Splunk Fundamentals 1 course. This is also the first thing that I point people to, the fundamentals course. And I'll open that up here, see if the link is still live. It is. When people want to learn about Splunk, I always go, yeah, go take Splunk Fundamentals 1. It's free. You just sign up, make sure you have a Splunk account, and if not, just make a sign in for Splunk.com, and then jump into Splunk Fundamentals 1. If you take 1 and you've never done you haven't done much Splunk before, you're probably gonna want to jump into 2 and 3, and then those are paid and things of that nature. But anywho, so he bases it just on that. And then he talks about access to quizzes. Now, the quizzes, can you get to that outside the class environment? It's not yeah, I think that might be just for the class for the quizzes. But you scroll down, he talks about where he's going to live stream it. And then down here, what he normally does is break down the schedule. And what he started doing in the past couple of years is not only, so before he used to just type everything out, just tons and tons of text, and it was constant and constant. So now what he does is just records the damn things. So I'm sitting here on, I keep want to say Twitter, on Twitch, recording a bunch of like, hey, there's some training stuff, like check it out, yay. But he's already done hundreds of hours of this type of stuff. So down here we have his lectures, and down here we have the projects. Now the cool thing about this is that all the projects that he makes available, I'm assuming all, maybe there's not technically all, but all the stuff that he makes available to his students, he makes available right here on his site. So for example, module 3 and 4. He developed an associated project. And here it is. This is what they all look like. This simple gray background, name up top. And he takes the time for a lot of these to do all kinds of not this particular one, obviously, because it's the short page, but to do all kinds of screenshots and text and just paragraphs, just chocked full. Like, honestly, I asked him, I was like, hey, are you single? When I first met him. Because I was like, how do you have time to do all this, man? Yeah, I know. Oh, that's right. The first time I met Sam, I was like, hey, man, are you single? I really like your work. Oh, that got me, Adam. Oh, man, that's good. Anywho, so you see here, it gives examples, turning in projects. He also has some questions that are just baked into the website. This particular one, let's pop out of this one. Let's go with, all right, CNIT 141. What's that? How's that look on the screen? Does that look all right? That looks fine. So cryptography for computer networks. All right, so I popped that open. There's the book. What are you going to use? You're going to use a modern day text, the top right. I recognize it right away. I don't personally know that text, but just from the art and the little icon down at the bottom right-hand side, no starch press. Any no starch press text is pretty much worth reading. I haven't run into one yet. Then I was like, it's a bit much. Actually, that's a lie. Gray Hat Python, I thought was going to be a little more introductory oriented. No. Maybe I just didn't read the jacket and just jumped in. But that's for hardcore reversers who want to implement Python in their environment. Anywho, off topic. You'll also be using an O'Reilly text, another common name. And then we see how much content there is on the page, right? I'm going to scroll up and down for days in here. Right? So I scroll down, and here we go. Here are his scheduled lectures. Once he does the lecture, he records it and makes them available right here. So all the lectures are available, hours upon hours upon hours. And here's something that he does that is kick ass. He often has guests that come in, and the guests aren't your regular average Joe Schmo. They'll typically be a fairly big name in the InfoSec community, like this name right here. I always butcher this guy's name. I don't know him personally. I've had drinks with him one time, and he presented at at CactusCon, our local hacker conference here in the Phoenix area last year. And so, anywho, he popped in, and he's done many presentations and done all kinds of great work. He works over with the Umbrella crew at Cisco, formerly the OpenDNS team. And he does some great work. So this is an example. He pulls the guy in. He's like, hey, and they just chop it up back and forth and discuss things. The class gets to meet all these real world people, right? And you're thinking, well, I'm not in San Francisco. It sucks. I can't meet that guy. Well, you can't shake his hand, but just click that link right there. I'm pointing to it right there. Click that one. And then you can probably see the interactions that they had. You keep scrolling down further, and here's all of his lecture slides. He provides Keynote and PDF. Sometimes, I could swear I saw PowerPoints in here in the past. Maybe I made that up. But you have these different versions, or is that one the PowerPoint? Click. Oh, that's SlideShare. All right. SlideShare, Keynote, PDF. He's like, whatever version you want to use for ingestion, knock yourself out. And then you have all these projects. So I have not yet looked at this particular class. I'm just showing you that they all pretty much follow this common skeleton. So let's click on project 1. And here's an example of what he does. Perfect example. right? Project 1. And he starts talking about the tools you're going to need up front. Make sure that you load them and that you're going to be familiar with them. He also, it's rare, I don't think I've ever seen it actually, that he just says like, using this tool, do this. Rather, he'll usually say something like, here's where you can find the tool, open the tool, and here's like an overview, or let's start with this, or like here are the settings you're going to probably want to have, or things like that. And then look at all these damn screenshots and text and screenshots and text and all this crap that he's curated. And they even have, like I said, that the official Q&A system I don't believe is available to outsiders like myself and probably yourself. But in here, he has a baked in little question and answer thing he does for a lot of these. So it gives you an example here, a simple English paragraph, and he wants you to decode that. All right. And then when you have your name and then the author that made the quote, and he shows you exactly how to format it, you put it in there and hit submit, so you can even check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. And yeah. So anyways, tons of content here. Now, I put together a training framework myself. It's about 5 weeks. It's not about, it's exactly 5 weeks of training. And it's at day job. So I think GitHub is -chap, right? Yeah. And I have it here listed as baseline training. I presented this at B-Sides San Francisco earlier this year. And I also presented it. This is the one I presented last year at CactusCon. So I'll click the B-Sides PDF, load it up. And there you go. So here's my slide presentation, right? So I provided this 5 different phases, and I scroll down. Oh, there's the Power Glove. Remember, I modified a Power Glove for presenting because I'm a nerd. It's actually up there on the wall. I don't know if the camera can see. Oh, yeah, the camera can see it. It's right. Boop, right there. All right. Anywho, in here, I talk about the things that we want to train, the 5 different main sections, right about here. So anyways, the sim is covered in week 1. Week 2 is networking and network forensics. There it is. Things like that. I'll stop scrolling up and down so much now. But the point that I want to make here is that a couple people have contacted me after the fact and said like, well, for networking and network forensics, you gave us this slide here, and it gave some examples like common protocols. How do they work? Well, how do I actually learn more about that? Like, where do I go to learn more about that? Now, my initial answer is usually like Google. Like, go to Google. Like, I want to just say, go to Google, dude. Yeah. Or do that. But in this case, I noticed that the first thing in here was DNS. So when I was replying to someone on LinkedIn, like, oh, here's a good resource as an example, I was like, well, I wonder if Sam's Class has any good DNS training, right? So I go to Sam's Class, and up at the top, I click on old classes. I don't like the way he calls, I don't like that terminology. It bothers me. Damn it, Sam. He calls it old. I don't like the term old. I like to just say maybe previous or other classes. They're not in session right now, but don't think of them as old, like outdated content, because they're not. Well, some probably are. But if I click old classes, and then I just do a freaking Control F on the page and type in DNS. Boom. Fall 2018 classes. CNIT 40, DNS security. All right. I run into people all the time who ask questions like, how do you really learn to understand security? And how do you truly know what you're doing when you're trying to secure a network, or for that matter, respond to incidents? And I say, typically, I give an example in some way, shape, or form that revolves around DNS. And it's like I was asking you. It was like, how does DNS work? Oh, well, you put the thing up here, and then your computer.
The thing with the thing
Yeah, and then it gets the IP, and then it goes. Like, no. All right, so what's a recursive resolver? And what are the first 2 things the operating system itself will check before it even looks for a DNS resolver? And, the host file and the DNS cache and all these different types of things. So here's a class right here called DNS security. So I click it. Boom. It's actually based on a text called, oh, hey, look, DNS security. Right? I'm not particularly familiar with this text myself, but if Sam picked it, I'm telling you, it's damn good text. So you scroll up and down, and he's like, all right, configuring bind servers, high availability DNS infrastructure, preventing unwanted zone transfers. So I'm sure in here he's going to talk about zone transfers. One of the questions I ask a lot of folks, like in whether it's an interview preparation type of thing or whatever, is you say, what protocol, and you ask what or which to kind of throw them off usually, but which protocol does DNS use? And they'll be like, UDP. I'm like, okay, can it use TCP? And they're always like, I don't know. I'm like, well, it can. When does it use TCP? And they're like, well, when it goes over the MTU of the packet size, typically associated with jumbo frames, are typically associated more specifically in DNS land with zone transfers. And then for that matter, you could just force it to use TCP all you damn want. A lot of the, I can't remember actually DNS Cat 2 if it's a default to use TCP or not. And then there's a bunch of VPN type providers or like anonymizers that will actually just basically tunnel via DNS, but they'll use TCP so that they're not dropping traffic, so that they can ensure the traffic arrives. Anyway, you scroll down, and here he goes again. Schedule. All these different classes. DNS vulnerabilities. I'm sure at some point, I don't know, I'm sure, but he probably talks about the Kaminsky method and all this kinds of cool stuff. And you keep scrolling down. Here are the lectures, and again, different formats. The projects. Let's click on Dig. So one of the things that I do is I train a lot at day job. And one of the things that I do is we go into Dig heavily. And you think, like, there's not a lot to do with Dig. Yeah, there's a lot to do with Dig. So you open up Dig. And here we go. So, authoritative servers. What's an authoritative server? What's a root server? What does NA mean in a query? What is a DNS TTL? What's the difference between? Anyways, let's see what he's talking about versus what I'm talking about. Oh, there's TTLs right there. Internet records, name servers. Yep. Specifying the server itself so you can actually force it to use a particular name server to do your lookup. All kinds of good stuff in here. CCSF, SOA, start of authorities. Oh, what else does he have? Reverse DNS. So when you want to look up a host name associated with an IP, and then for that matter, what that might look like in a PCAP, these are all like really important things you truly need to understand at a lower level to really know what you're doing when it comes to responding to any type of threat that may implement DNS, or maybe even just makes a simple DNS query or 5000. And you're wondering, like, why is it doing that? Like, if you understand DNS and the RFC DNS, then the RFC for DNS, and this type of training is exactly what you want. So this is just one of the projects. I close that. There's more. So the recent person on LinkedIn who was asking me about stuff, I don't recall exactly what I told him, but what was it? Let's go back to the top. Actually, I'll go back, and I'm pretty sure. Boop. No, that's old classes. Go back again. And I could swear was it certifications? Did I make that up? This. So I randomly stumbled across the cybersecurity programs. I'm like, all right, so that the college offers. And I clicked cybersecurity certificate. I didn't click degree because when a lot of people like yourself are like, I need to learn quick. I need to go. I want to level up in my game and things like that. You're not, oh, go get a degree. Okay. So I was like, well, maybe a certificate would be a proper thing. So you click on it and they give an outline here, right? Effective back in 15. Here are the classes that this school, and again, this is all funneled through Sam, right? Anything he makes is gold, I'm telling you. So he's like, all right, do these classes. Hey, look at that. DNS security is the first damn one. Let's see if I can highlight properly. Apparently I can't. Let's try from this side. Almost had it. I missed the C. That was close.
Right.
So DNS security, network security. Look at that. Computer forensics, firewalls, ethical hacking, and then choose one of these. So what about computer forensics? Is that going to talk about rate blockers? Like what is it going to talk about? Like what's in there? I don't know. But CNET 121. We'll go back, scroll to the top. Go to old classes and CNET 121. There it is. Computer forensics from fall 16. We click on it and the text is boom. Classic. Incident response and computer forensics from McGraw-Hill. Phenomenal text. It's using the 3rd edition. I have the 2nd edition right there. I'm pointing at it off camera. It's right there. You see it, Adam?
It's over there.
He's like, I'm not going to turn around, Bo. All right. So anyway. And then again, it's the same old song and dance, right? The schedule as, if he's doing a current class, the schedule won't have the videos, obviously. But he gives the schedule, and then all the videos are down here. And then there's a right blocker right there. I saw it. I seen it. And then I scroll back down. Oh, man, there's a lot of damn videos on here. This is all free. You just click the damn thing. I would doubt he even, let's check. Does he even monetize these? I don't think so. No. Not monetized. Well, from what I can tell, I don't know about analytics and all that crap. But yeah, in fact, I had a particular training venture, and I reached out to Sam, and I'm like, hey, dude, you can make a bunch of money, but more importantly, you'd be like absolutely perfect for this. And he's like, no, I'm not interested in that. And he's like, I just want to provide it. I want everyone to be able to access it. In fact, I even hit him up on Twitter before doing this, and I was like, do you mind if I show off some of your stuff? And he's like, yeah, freaking go do it. In fact, it's probably right here. When's this coming back? I should 3 hours. All right, maybe a little before that. Oh, actually, what I want is boop, tweets and replies. Ah, damn it, I'm not signed in. I don't want to sign in this VM. I don't trust it. Anywho, I was like, hey, Sam, you mind if I cover your class? And he's like, yeah, dude, go check out the privacy statement or the usage statement, which I believe is right up, probably at the bottom or not. At the top. Wait for it. Here you go. Use policy. Click. Public domain. Anyone is free to use the PowerPoint presentation, lecture notes, and projects I put on these web pages any way you want. I am happy to help learn or teach about computer networking. This is the understatement of the year on this at least on the damn website. Like, he literally just like, here. I absolutely applaud the guy. Freaking love it. So aside from my personal love for Sam Bone, hey man, you single? I never realized how creepy that was until you mentioned that. Aside from that, right? I just wanted to show off this resource. You know, I have my own personal resources. I have a whole bookshelf full of books, and many of them I would recommend. I have my own Pluralsight courses that I'm going to try not to bring up on every damn stream. Did I mention? Oh, I'm kidding. So I have my own paid content, but then I'm doing a lot of free stuff myself. But everything that I've provided outwardly and all the time I've put in is easily eclipsed by Sam's content. And I think it's just a shame that more people don't know about it. Like, the guy should have like 50 gazillion followers. I think that's the number, right? 50 gazillion sounds about right. Sure. On Twitter. Now I want to talk about Twitter. Yeah, seriously, it's just fan-freaking-tastic. So, yeah, for anyone who's like, you know, I want to just start getting into things, go look at those cybersecurity certificate courses. There's also an advanced one, by the way. Hell, is this the main page? Yeah, let's go back to that. Here, advanced cybersecurity. What's this? Advanced ethical hacking. Oh, practical malware analysis. Here we go. So the practical malware analysis course was a course that he put together. And in fact, I believe I saw it down here at the bottom.
Nope, you were right back down there by the certificate.
Well, I wanted this, though. Oh, that's for next year. What am I talking about? So actually, if I go over here.
Go back down by the certificate.
Oh, right where it was. Yeah.
Right above it.
Scroll up. Boop. So here's the course. In a course, he uses practical malware analysis. The text, which is the Bible, if you will, if I'm allowed to say that, or if that's not too. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But for any reverser or wannabe reverser, which technically I am a wannabe reverser. Let's see, who's his guest this time? Tim O'Brien, Security Operations in the SOC of 2020. Awesome. Multiple guests in one class? It's asking for a lot. All right, I was like, is this for multiple? Like, I'm just start taking all his classes. All right, and then here's all his cool, fun stuff. Now, this practical malware analysis, I actually implemented this in the training that we do at Day Job. So he gave a workshop, and I assume if I go to old classes and then I just look up CactusCon, this is from last year. He did Crypto Hero. I was not able to attend that, but this practical malware analysis. So Sam gave a workshop for the PMA class that he put together back in 2017, and you click on it. And here it is. So you got the CactusCon logo. He did it at B-Sides and at DEF CON. The guy gets around. And so, yeah, we have all of our new hire SOC analysts. When we get into reverse engineering week, we put him through this. He had a bunch of interns help him out. I actually work with one particular fella who I met at one of Sam's workshops at B-Sides San Francisco 2015. I won't say his name. You know who you are. But he was in the workshop, and I saw him just like absorbing everything and asking every question under the sun and being like really involved. The next day, the guy was in my workshop, and then a couple months later, I was asked like, "Hey, do you know so-and-so?" And I was like, "I do. I remember that name," because he was just so focused on that workshop. And he now works for us and has worked for us for, I don't know, what, 3 years now? 4 years? It's been a while. And one of the things I asked him was like, what got you so passionate about security? And one of the things he said was like, Sam was a big damn part of it. So yeah, small world in that regard, right? But anyways, here I'll show off something here. Scores from CactusCon 2017. Ah, look at your boy. Oh, I'm so special. Hi. What's up, kid? You want to get on the stream? You want to say hi? There she is. This is Alicia. She likes horses and cats. Who doesn't like cats, right? Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry. Oh, I'll get you food. We're going to cut this and restart with another one. So anywho, I was I'd already gone through the text before, I think multiple times. So when Sam was giving the class, I was really excited. Another small world story. There were 2 different people that were in this workshop when Sam was doing it. And through that, because I was a loudmouth in there, like, I'm in first place. I'm so damn special.
You?
Oh, me? What? Yeah, probably because of that. Anyways, that ended up leading to conversations. Long story short, they both now work with us too at day job. So Sam brings people together. His courses provide just phenomenal training, and I absolutely adore it. Anyway, it's usually the first thing at this point that whenever anyone asks, where do I go for training, blah, 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 I'm like, go here, damn it. Freaking go here. It's fan-freaking-tastic. Which courses do I take? Well, I mean, what do you want to know? Like, what's your forte? I don't know yet. Well, then go to the certificate and take those and see how you feel about it, right? So anywho, all right. So now I've run my mouth about the guy in my last CactusCon talk, and now I did an entire, 15, 20-minute stream. Hey, Sam, if you're watching, what's up, man? Are you single? All right. Anything to add about you? Have you gone through some of the content yet?
I have not had a chance.
You're a bad person. All right, Adam's going to do it. Maybe Adam will do a stream at some point
Maybe.
on one of the classes he took.
Maybe.
All right, we good?
Good.
All right, I just want to do a quick short stream about this, just kind of spotlight samsclass.info. We're going to cut and come back in about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to go over email header analysis. Yeah. And bye-bye.